the 9/11, as everyone knows it, is actually a national day of service. So when we realized that we always host our events on a Saturday, although the students would really like us to host it during a school day.
Yes, they would.
Yes, they would. Great. I love those suggestions. But just couldn't pass up the opportunity to celebrate our day, our volunteers, on the same day as 9/11, and
it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this year. It just happens to fall on a Saturday, so it was perfect. And so this year we'll honor law enforcement and veterans and first responders. So
we'll be volunteering in their honor, in their memory. So.
And as usual, you'll be all around town, and there's really something for everyone.
There is, with the Delta variant, it looks like we're going to be doing most, if not all, of our services outdoors, which will be fine. In September, it looks like the weather's going to be low 80s. It'll be great.
And it's shine or rain. We always hope for that shine. But yes, so the rain will not stop today.
But there will be physical projects like planting shrubs at FredNet Stadium. There will also be, art and craft type things to decorate houses, Hope House. So, the full gamut of opportunities to volunteer and do something great for the Fredericksburg community.
You just think of all the people that are introduced to this, or the people that come back. It is a special day.
Yes, and we have been out of the school since March of last year, and we actually haven't met the group of students that started the whole last year. So now we're meeting them like we never met the freshmen, and now we're meeting the freshmen as sophomores. And so we are excited because they've heard about it. They've started to see this is our 9th one. So they're super excited, and I know some of them must be sophomores because they're like, this is my first one. So you love when that first spark happens. But then we have so many seniors, and I'm super excited that they're going to get to do a day of service. Again, their last one. So.
And the Ceili Leahy Day of Service extends to Stafford High School this fall.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So one of our mutual great friends, Amy McConnell, her 3 kids are at Stafford this year, and she had the idea that maybe Stafford could get involved. So it's happening. The principal and the vice principal there have really embraced it, Mr. Hicks and Ms. Nagel. So yeah, they are neck and neck with JM in recruiting volunteers. So we're going to have a great contingent.
Yeah, and I'm a stats girl, so already I realize we're just 3 weeks into the school year, so we essentially started marketing, and we call it inspiring students to serve. And we are at the number, right now we have the volunteers that we had our last in-person day of service. So it's usually about a little over 100 students. And so between JM and Stafford, we have our contingent of students that if we were to have the day of service tomorrow, we could do it. But because Stafford was joining us, we added more projects. So we are actually serving 9 nonprofits, and we have a variety of projects at JM, because every year when we ask for, how can we do it better? Students always want more options. So we're like, let's do it. So we've added, just recently added some more projects. And so we may, hopefully can get the number of volunteers we need. So we probably need about double of what we've got now to make all these service projects happen. But we've got ourselves volunteers. They're good to go. And what makes them good to go? Signed permission slip is turned in. So that's pretty easy, you would think, right?
Yeah.
But that's probably the hardest part, is how they get the permission slip, how it gets to their parents to sign off, and then whether it gets back. So we've added more options. Students can do it online. There's online sign up, and there's also, you can take a picture of it and send it through email. So we've really learned a lot from the whole, virtual part of life this past year and a half. So I think we've made it a lot easier for students to get that permission slip back and get them on board and ready to go.
And we had set a deadline for submitting permission slips of tomorrow, the 27th, but because we know that there are still kids that have signed up but haven't turned in the permission slips, we're extending that deadline so kids can still sign up and submit their permission slips until Wednesday of next week.
September 1st.
September 1st, yeah, the kickoff of Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, and the Brain Aneurysm Awareness Month.
Yes.
There's a lot going on next month.
To do something like this, it's always amazing to me to see because I just remember the shirt that on the back it just said Dave Surface. Now it has.
Yeah, so
you
you
have
can
some
see, you can
sponsors.
see the shirt. That was this was what, fall of 19. No, this is fall of 19, right? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. And then this is this Dave Service. There's 10. We have 10 sponsors.
Wow.
So it's actually gorgeous. And, I thought there'd be too many, but they're beautiful. It's really great to see so many of our sponsors that have been with us all along.
And new sponsors too.
New sponsors too.
Yeah, so, Jay Bryant's Tap Room has been with us from the very beginning. Susie Stone, Century 21 Realty.
White
Oak Animal Hospital as well. And then along the way, we've picked up other sponsors. Fredericksburg Ballet has also been with us from the beginning.
And Blackhawk Homes and Rappahannock Development Group has joined on, and Coleman Motor Company, and Bartlett Tree Experts as one of our newest ones, and Dominion Energy and Meadows Farms. So they all bring just so much energy and excitement, because the big thing about sponsorship is paying for these T-shirts, because always say we have the best T-shirts in town.
do they stand out?
They
and no, it's just how this continues to grow, and just the stories that kids tell. It's just getting. I can see that one of the next things that. Someday you're going to be able to write a book on this, and you're going to be able to write a book but you're also going to be able to highlight a lot of these kids' stories and what they're doing, what service means to them, and I think that's exciting.
Yes, I have had the privilege of watching some of these students, start as like 8th graders or 7th graders. We would invite some students from Walker Grant to just get a little early preview of it, and that group of students are graduating this year. So it's going to be really hard, but the growth and maturity and their commitment to service is just phenomenal. It's just. They're inspiring us now. We always say we go out and inspire them, but it really goes the other way around. We're inspired to keep this up because students want to do it, and they're nice to us. They're just beautiful people. There have to be times that you just look at each other and just say, wow.
You created a monster.
Yes.
No, it started out with like 30 students, and this is what's hard for me is we would text and a lot, and that, imagine it's gotten very laborious, but I'm still a pretty good texter. But I've always tried to make it personal and have that relationship, and I think that's also good to have students talking to somebody that's not a teacher or someone in their school, and they can learn how to have that professional interaction, and it's great in that respect too. So, but it's also great to have Stafford involved, because they're doing it very differently than we've done it. Because we have a planning committee, which is students, and those students, because we can't go in the schools during the day, our students are working the lunch waves and really getting the hype up for it and getting the students to sign up. And they're doing a lot of online and announcements. So much is done online now, and they're super successful. So I'm loving to see. I'm learning more stuff now, having them part of our day, and excited to see what they all are interested in doing, what projects they pick, and get more importantly is getting the work done in our community, because there's so much that our nonprofits need help with from high school students.
But I also can't help but believe and think and realize that when you take a look at this and the students that have gotten involved and that you've helped gotten involved, it goes back to when both of you, or John, when you were doing things with Ceili, because it got Ceili involved, and Ceili has been, you got her involved, she in turn has gotten JM involved, now Stafford's involved, and off we go.
Yeah. We loved doing things as a family, and so when Ceili was little, if we were doing any kind of volunteer thing, we'd always bring Ceili and John along, and they participated. So it was kind of in our DNA, I think, to to serve, and when she got to high school
Yeah.
and became a member and then president of the Amnesty International Club, it, I think, just sort of allowed her to blossom, and she became a real leader, and just an incredible commitment to community and service. I always say she had this superpower of being able to connect with people. Everybody felt like
They were her best friend.
they were her best friend.
Yeah.
And that she was this, just sort of servant leader. It was just remarkable.
But, while we did stuff as family, her school was super impactful. Her teachers, I think, really championed her and encouraged that drive and allowed her to have the voice and help her fellow students get involved. And they even transcended into in college. Ceili was always grabbing somebody to go to a protest, and there was there's time for all of that, and it's more fun when you do it together. And I think that's what's so much fun about the Day of Service, is students doing service together. And they might not know one another, but they meet new people.
Yeah.
And they work side by side with adults as well. We have to have, the students are all minors, so the adults that they see are, technically they're looking out for them, but they're also working side by side. So
There's a website, right? Too.
there is, and because Ceili's name is so hard to spell.
Yeah.
We decided to just CL for Leahy, Ceili Leahy, serviceproject.org.
Okay.
So it's clserviceproject.org. But for the JM, and we host the highlights from what's happening with JM's event for the JM Day of Service. And JM also has a webpage, which is wonderful, and it's a lot longer. So, but James Monroe High School in Fredericksburg, you can also find it there. It's a beautiful site.
JM website, if you click on the community page, that's where you'll find all about, pretty much all the information that's on the clserviceproject.org page is also on the JM page under community.
Yes, and Stafford has a page as well on their website. So, hey. Looks like we've got company.
We have company.
The beauty of porch
That's
porch
a tradition.
And it's a concrete truck going by. We weren't planning on this.
I know, we thought the trash
And I think he's slowing down in front of your house.
Oh, he is, because he sees that we probably need something. Yeah. But anyhow, well, we're excited about what's coming up. We're excited that we've extended the deadline. We're hoping to make this one of our largest events. And of course, he's already looking at the weather, and it's looking good. So,
Well, as always, thank you for doing this, because it's a great event, and it's impacting the community.
But so we're excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.